So we'd like to introduce you to the lovely Andreas from Pharmacare. Andreas, you're going to be talking today about Promensil for the menopause.
So I've been working for Pharmacare for close to 15 years, and I'm also a registered osteopath and a dietary counselor. We'll be talking about some ways of targeting the menopause, defining various aspects of the menopause and explaining what they are. But specifically, we'll also focus on supplementation with specific reference to Promensil, which is a natural approach to the menopause.
You're also an expert on the menopause and the effects the menopause have on the skin and mood. Can you just tell us, because our audience, across from perimenopause to during the menopause and also at perimenopause. So let's start with perimenopause. What do you feel? I mean, sometimes it starts very early, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the average age of the perimenopause is around about 50, between 48 and 52.
Yes.
The median age is about 51. I think for the viewers, it would be really useful to know that the clinical definition of the menopause, or what the general public understand as the menopause, is the absence of a period for 12 months or more. Right. So, if someone has been period free for 11 months and 3 weeks, and they have a period in the last week of the year, technically they're not menopausal. So in terms of definition, perimenopause is everything leading up to that termination of your period for 1 year. And then post-menopause, or the menopause, is everything that comes after that. So with the decline of estrogen, there are various avenues that individuals can follow. One is obviously the hormone replacement therapy, HRT, which would have to be administered by a professional. But of course, not all women want to start with HRT or want to address these issues of declining estrogen levels with HRT. Another approach is to look at a natural alternative. And one of the strongest natural alternatives that's backed with really good clinical studies is red clover isoflavones. And what they do is they help to support help to manage the decline of estrogen levels in the body in a more natural kind of manner that might suit someone looking for a natural approach. There are various brands that do the natural approach, but in terms of red clover isoflavones, I would probably say that in terms of levels and the clinical efficiency on the formulas, Promensil stands out amongst the rest.
Where did you get Promensil from?
You can get Promensil online, promensil.co.uk. You can get it at most retailers, Holland & Barrett, Boots, and various independent health shops. So we've got 3 products in the range. The main product that is probably the most effective in terms of the red clover levels is our maintenance dose, which comes in a green pack. That's got 80 milligrams of red clover extract, and that over the years has been shown to be the maximum clinically effective dose. There are lots of systematic reviews and meta-analysis that actually bear this out. So the red clover isoflavones is the actual main ingredient. In the post-menopause formula, which we'll touch on a little bit later, you've got the red clover isoflavones, 40 milligrams, but then you've also got vitamin D and calcium. which helps to support bone health, which is really important later on in life.
That sounds amazing, and it's very effective, I hear.
Very effective in terms of the hot flushes that women might experience, because in the lead up to the menopause, and in a lot of women post-menopause, the hot flushes continue for a few years once they've entered the clinical stage of the menopause. So red clove isoflavones are really effective for women who have mild to moderate symptoms in terms of hot flushes, that are looking for a natural alternative, who don't want to go on HRT, who want to explore other options like a natural option, or who might be contraindicated to HRT. So there might be a history with that individual, or a strong family history of cancer in the family.
How does it affect the skin? And I know that you have very good remedies. Can you tell us about that and how that works?
Sure. I mean, basically what happens during the perimenopause, or the lead up to the menopause, is the decline of estrogen. Primarily it's the decline of estrogen. And what estrogen does, estrogen is a super valuable hormone in both men and women, but specifically for women. And it helps to support collagen synthesis and collagen support in the skin. So obviously, as you approach menopause, and as you go through the menopause, you start to lose that function, and associated with that, you've got loss of elasticity in the skin, loss of dehydration, textural changes start to appear, and all those other things.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that I was just thinking about what you were saying, and I really haven't really noticed that much in my face, because that's what you look at, but actually the rest of my skin.
Yeah.
I suppose it's because we look after our faces more than we look after our bodies. I look at my arms and my legs, and I think they feel very dry, and they feel, it's like it suddenly happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're absolutely right, is that a lot of women tend to neglect the neck and the décolleté area when they do the usual skincare. But because of that overall loss of collagen and loss of a substance called hyaluronic acid, you would start to experience that dryness and that approaching crepiness on the skin. So one remedy for that is to look out for a really good high quality collagen supplement, preferably marine collagen, because that has the closest affinity to the structure of collagen in human skin. Yeah.
I found when I take any supplements, any HRT or even supplements, that my boobs get bigger.
Yeah, I can't really speak to that, but I don't know. I suppose there'll be many women asking you which supplements you take.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it might be all right for them, but it's definitely not all right for me. And I think I think it's been, at times I felt like a cow. I really have, and that's why it's about having to reduce the dosage of of natural stuff as well. So it does work, because I can see it works.
You can feel it. Yeah. I can't speak to that, I'm afraid. But it's an
interest from experience.
Yeah.
I know. I was always a stick insect, you see, Andreas. So I never had any boobs. So actually, I would love to have that.
But you do have boobs, Dee. She's been trying to deny her boobs for a long time.
I have. I always think I haven't, but after having my daughter, I suddenly had boobs, and I still thought I hadn't.
Yeah, it's probably related to hormonal. If you've just had if they appeared after your daughter,
they did. Absolutely, they certainly did.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's amazing. Is there anything else you'd like to say to us and to our audience about how really to prevent the hot flushes apart from your wonderful products. Because I know that you do a lot of training, don't you, as well, Andreas?
Yeah. So, it really does depend on the individual, but I think, ambiguous answers are always the worst. And for any listeners, they might view this as a little bit of a cop-out. But it really does depend on what suits the individual. So sometimes going in and doing regular exercise, 20-30 minutes of aerobic exercise may suit Judy, but it might be terrible for Debbie. But I would definitely lean towards exercise being a key factor in helping to manage this whole process. Alternate therapies like acupuncture can help. There's also anything that helps to relieve stress really does help. And then, of course, we need to look at diet, not only because of what might trigger hot flashes, like alcohol, for example. Coffee is a bit of a culprit. Obviously, spicy food, but diet really does become important, not only for managing hot flashes, but managing the heart health and the bone health conditions that might appear way down the line when women are well into the post-menopause phase.
I really didn't have any menopause symptoms at all. And I think the reason is because I was taking supplements in my late 30s.
Yeah.
And I think what we do is we make the mistake of thinking, oh, we're in the perimenopause, we're going to start them now. You should start them way before.
Absolutely.
Then the transition is very slight. Well, or if anything, I think my mother, I went round to my mother's house, and she must have been about mid-50s at the time. And she said to me, darling, I had the menopause yesterday. I said, yesterday? And she said, yes. And I went, oh. She said, yes, I had these hot flushes, took off all my clothes, and today I'm fine. And she never, ever mentioned it again. I thought, she's completely crackers, but she was anyway, and I loved her very much. Anyway, around 10 years ago, I was doing a play, and I was working in Edinburgh. And I got this day, I was hard, I couldn't bear it. I thought, well, this is it. One day. Exactly the same as my mother.
Okay.
Never since. Yeah. So how weird is that?
Yeah. So it's not really weird because and this is a consensus amongst gynecologists that specialize in the menopause. One of the best indicators of the type of menopause a woman will have is to double check and see what kind of menopause her mother has had. We
have the one-day menopause in our family.
Yeah, one-day menopause is unique, but if women are worried about the menopause and how to manage it, they can just speak to their moms and see what kind of menopause they had, because there's a very strong correlation between mothers and daughters and between generations in terms of the effects of the menopause, especially with regarding to hot flushes.
I think girls should know about this from the very beginning, because I think when we were growing up, I mean, we weren't really told about the menopause. I didn't really know anything about it. My grandma used to have these hot flushes, and I didn't know why. I didn't realize that was the menopause. I used to think she used to get very hot. Well, you know what I mean? You do when you're a little girl. And then as you grow up, you need from the very beginning to understand, this is what happens to my body. At this stage, this happens. Then this happens. And then that happens. And I don't think we ever really know, because I when I was having my kids or whatever, I mean, the menopause was the last thing that anyone discussed with me. Whereas now it's so much more open. And my daughters, who are sort of my daughters, early 30s, late 20s, they all know about everything now, and they do ask. So I think the openness has really helped people.
Yeah, absolutely. But, we've still got a long way to go. I mean, menopause, the awareness of menopause, especially in the workplace, is really or the effects of menopause in the workplace, for example, really points to a general awareness across the board and across sectors regarding the challenges that women face. But even that we're not quite there yet, because when we get new members of staff, for example, they join pharmacare, and I train them, for example, on Promensil and various other things. Young 23-year-old women, they really struggle. When they hear about what actually happens or what's going to happen to their bodies, because they're completely unaware of it. I mean, do 23-year-old girls or women need to be worrying about what will happen to them in their 50s? It's that's debatable, but I think it's important, and speaks to what you were saying earlier, Debbie, about the importance of looking after yourself, and making sure that that you supplement and instill a diet and diet discipline within yourself that will help to support you in your 50s.
So thank you so much, Andreas, for coming in and talking. That's really, really helpful. And we hope you come back and tell us more, especially about women in the workplace with the menopause.
So don't forget to order your Promensil, which you can get from anywhere, from Holland and Barrett, all the best health food shops, and you can also get it online. Promensil, for before, during, and after the menopause.
Thank you, Andreas.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.